Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's Tuesday, so it's CASEing the Catalogue Day, and all this month of January we are featuring cards cased from the CASEing Catalogue. Now I've chosen a card that is from page 1213. It's using the Beauty Abounds bundle, which is this one here. Now the only difference is I bought the Framelits, I didn't buy the stamp set, but that's okay because the card that we are casing today is this one right up here, and I've just used the Framelits from it. So let's bring that one in a little bit so you can see it. This is a really great Framelit set. I'm going to bring the card in. So here's the card here. It is a 5x5 card, and we've also made a matching envelope to go with it using the envelope punch board. So let's get up to the table and we'll get started. Okay, so this card is using the Butterfly Beauty Thinlet dies. These are absolutely gorgeous. There is 2 sheets and 20 Framelits in all. So there's like a negative and a positive image that you can pop together, or you can just use them separately, but from the tiny, tiny little butterflies to the very big butterflies, and then there's a few leaves and flowers in the background as well. So we're also using a set that's part of the suite called the Dot to Dot embossing folder. And this one's really cute. So that one there. And for the thank you, or it's actually thanks in the catalogue, I've actually used Petal Palette, the thank you from that. I didn't buy the stamp set because I didn't think that I would use the stamp set as much as the Framelits. So I just went with the Framelits, but if you buy the 2 together in the bundle, you will save yourself 10%. So for the inks for this card, we're using Mango Melody and Poppy Parade, and I'm also using a bit of gold metallic thread. We have Whisper White card base, some mint macaron, some Mango Melody and basic black here, and with our sentiment it is the Poppy Parade and Mango Melody together. So I have my card kit here, and I just want to say to stay till the very end of this video. I have a little surprise for you at the end. So for the card kit, all the measurements and supplies can be found over on my blog, and that's in the description of this video. There's also a link to my online store if you want to purchase any of your Stampin' Up supplies through me if you live in Australia. If you don't already have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. And if you've ever thought about joining Stampin' Up, now is the time to do so during celebration. If you have any questions, drop me a line and I would love to help you out with any questions that you may have. So we're going to start off. The bottom piece is actually for the envelope because we're going to use our envelope punch board. So I'm going to just pop that to the side. We're not going to need that just yet. I have my piece of Whisper White cardstock, and that's a little bit burred on the edge. Let's just get rid of those edges. I've already folded it in half, so it's 10 by 5. Let's fold in half and burnish that edge. I also have another piece of Whisper White that's going to be embossed with that Dot to Dot folder. We have a piece of Whisper White for our sentiment, some mint macaron for our little vine here, and then I have 2 pieces of cardstock, one in Mango Melody and one in basic black, and we're going to die cut our butterfly here. So let's bring the big shot in and we'll do all our big shotting first. So I have my 2 of the largest images here. I get those off there. And one you can see is a bit thicker than the other. So the thick piece is the bottom piece in our card, which is the Mango Melody. So that's for that one. And I'm just centering it. So you can see this is a large piece here. I've purposely done that for a reason, and I'll show you in the end. And the smaller, thinner die, that's going to be placed in the middle of that basic black, and also die cut out. I'm going to pop that to the side because I really want to bring my precision plate in. Because these are so intricate, I found the precision plate just to be that little bit better. My mats, cutting mats here, are a little bit borrowed, so they don't tend to cut out quite so well. I do need to replace them. While we're here, I'm just going to open the Big Shot up, and I'm just going to emboss with that dot to dot embossing folder. Placing that in the middle there like that. I'm also going to place, because it's a thin one, we need the mat on top, the cutting mat on top. So let's roll that through. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so let's bring the precision plate in. Here we are here. So we have that down. I'm going to do my basic black piece first. Hopefully that's in view. Placing that in the middle. Beautiful. And let's run that through, and I'm just going to run that through a couple of times. This is a very intricate die. And if you've got better cutting plates, you probably wouldn't have to run it through quite so much. It looks like that's cut in through really well. Let's do the Mango Melody. Okay. Yep, another one that's gone through well. And while we're here, I'm going to bring in that mint macaron. And I want this little vine die here. So I'm going to place that in, and we need 2 of those. So let's just pop that through twice. There's one. There's our second one. And the good thing is this negative space could be used on another card very easily. So we're finished with our Big Shot, so let's just get rid of that. I'm also going to bring in my die brush and the mat. And let's try getting these out. Oh, it doesn't want to come out this corner. There we go. So only a few little bits didn't pop out, which is okay. We can just use our sharp tool here, piercing tool. Okay, now you're going to want to keep this piece here. I'll bring the black piece in. I'm going to just roll that over as well. This is very thin, so just be very careful popping all these out. And the great thing about this, you can cut these down. So if you just want the one butterfly, you've got a whole heap of pieces of leftover for other projects here. or if you're limited with cardstock, you could just die cut the one butterfly that you're after. The last one just here, beautiful. Okay, how gorgeous is that? No, there's another one here. That is so intricate and beautiful. Okay, once again, we're keeping that black piece to the side. So we have all our pieces cut out. Let's do our stamping of the thank you. So I have the image right in front of me, just here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it up with the Mango Melody. And then I'm going to bring in the Poppy Parade using a sponge dauber. And I just want to ink up the bottom part of thank you. There we go. So let's bring that in, and we're going to just stamp that down on that piece of Whisper White. Now this is a huge piece of Whisper White, and I've done it this way so I don't stuff it. Isn't that gorgeous, that two-toned sentiment there? So I'm using the classic label punch. Now if you don't have this one, you can just cut out with your hand. I'm not quite that straight, so I'm going to use my punch, and I've been using this a lot lately. I find that this just works perfectly. And I'm also going to just cut this down, so I'm going to cut it down so it's at a straight angle there, and then I'm going to bend a cut in. So cut in from the middle, and then from both edges back into that middle piece, and that has a perfect banner. And that's our stamping done. Very quick and easy card, isn't it? Okay. So I'm just going to work on the embossed piece, because then we'll stick it all down all together. It's going to be popped up, so it's easier to work just on this piece. Now I'm also going to just cut out this larger butterfly. So I'm just going to bring in my paper snips and just go in and cut around off those other ones. Now these other ones can be used on another project, and I highly recommend doing that. Don't waste them. So you're just following the lines of your butterfly. And there's one. And look at all these butterflies that we have. And we're doing the same with the Mango Melody. I'm just going to go in and fix up if they don't sort of sit right. That looks good. So you're left with all those. Not only are you left with those, but you're left with the negative images. So I'm showing you something later on using these ones. Now the black one's just going to be layered on top, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue, Tombow glue, on the body of the butterfly. That way the butterfly can be pinched up, so as if it's flying. Okay, so let's pop this one down, so body gets attached. And these ones can just be folded up a little. So the next thing is I'm going to bring in some gold metallic thread. And I'm going to need a fairly big circle because I want it to go all the way around that 5-inch square. Just going to go around that many times, probably about 5. And cutting that off. Not quite big enough, hang on. Much better. So I'm going to bring in a glue dot, and I found it's easier to stick a glue dot up this way, popping that down into the glue dot, and you can either cut those off so they're not sticking out, and I like to do that so it's not looking messy. There we go. So it's attached there, and that's going to be covered up by that butterfly wing. Okay. But before we do that, we're going to bring in our gorgeous little leaves here. And we're going to also cut off a little bit. So we want them to sit down like this, but we don't want all this in the middle because see how we can see through it? So I'm going to pop these into place, and then I'm just going to cut off just a little bit on the end. So about that much. So it's still meeting in the middle where the butterfly's body can hide it a little bit. So let's pop them ones down. And I found glue dots worked best for me. Definitely use the Tombow glue if you prefer that one. I'm just going to stick a glue dot under that bit. And also another one under. All these are being covered up by the butterfly. And then just one on the very end here. There we go. Bring that down a little bit, just like that. I want to sort of keep it on the embossed card. Popping a little bit more glue down the middle body of the butterfly. And you can stick some glue down on the Mango Melody butterfly if you would like that to be more placed down. I'm happy with just the body. That way it has that little bit of dimension as well. And with our sentiment, I'm just going to pop some dimensionals on the bottom there. I'm just going to cut up some edges. So I've got 3 little half edges there. And before I get moving anymore, I just want to bring that sponge dauber in. This one I've given a little bit of extra colouring, and I forgot to do that, so let's do that really quickly. Now you've got to be careful not to get it on the white. One day I'm going to be able to do a video and not forget steps. Oh well, we'll get there. didn't harm it at all. Woohoo! Okay, so let's stick our sentiment down. Just like that. And these can still be popped up without any issue. I'm just going to pop some dimensionals on the back of this one. And that can be stuck down to our card base. And then one on each end and then one in the middle. There we go. So let's bring the envelope punch board in now and we'll do our envelope. So this is a 5x5 card. And the envelope punch board has it all written down here. So you've just got to look at your card size. So we have a 5x5 card. We go over, we need an 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 paper. And we're going to score it at 4 1/8. So I have my 8 1/8 piece of cardstock. So let's bring it in. We'll go to 4 1/8. We're going to punch and score. And then I'm just going to pop this where this line is that we've just scored. I'm going to line that up with this little lip here. I'm just going to punch the score all the way around those 4 sides. So there's also a corner rounder on the end of the envelope punch board. So let's, what have I done? That's not right. Okay, so for the envelope, we're using the envelope punch board. So it's this one here. And the great thing is the envelope punch board does everything for us. All you've got to do is look for your card size. So we have a 5x5 card, which tells us that our paper size needs to be 8 1/8 by 8 1/8, and our scoring line needs to be at 4 1/8. So we have our piece of cardstock for our envelope, which is mint macaron, 8 1/8 by 8 1/8. Let's pop it in at 4 1/8, and I'm going to punch and score. And then I'm going to line up this score line with this little notch here, and I'm going to punch and score. And I'm going to do that for all 4 sides. Which just leaves us this envelope design. So I'm going to turn the envelope punch board around, and there's a corner rounder here on this end. So let's corner round all those 4 sides. Gives it that nice neat finish. And the last one. There we go. Now we're just going to fold and burnish on those score lines that we've made. And that's as easy as what the envelope is. So 2 corners together, we're just going to pop in a little bit of Tombow glue just there to pop that down. And I'm also going to stick a little bit of glue along those edges, and just a little bit up there as well. So let's pop that down. And I'm just going to use my bone folder just to make sure that that sticks down really well. And you don't want to make sure that you don't put too much glue up here, because you don't want to stick your envelope down. There we go. Now I just decorated it with one of the little dies here. Let me bring it in. So this one here, but you could choose any one you want. Let's grab this one off. And I have a little scrap of that black, basic black, that come out of the inside of that butterfly. So I think I'm come out of one of there. Just going to run that through the Big Shot. Bring this in again. Quickly run that one through. And this is optional, you don't have to do this. I just think it ties it all together really beautifully. There's our little butterfly. Pop him out a little. You could also use one of the ones that we've already previously cut out if you want a bigger one. That would look beautiful too. I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue down on this butterfly. And there's our envelope and card. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this card. And I just wanted to show you too, I said to wait till the very end, I had something to show you. So not only do you get all these little cutouts when you cut out those 2 big framelits, you also end up with this negative piece. And this is what I wanted to show you. So these were quite large pieces. Left you with a negative piece, and what I've made is this gorgeous card. So I've just lined them together so there's a bit of a border with the Mango Melody at the back there. Cut it down so it reaches the front of a card base. Then I've popped some designer series paper in the back here and a little sentiment, a little note. bit of baker's twine and a lovely little bit of ribbon that I've coloured with the Stampin' blends, but you can pick and choose whatever you would like if you change the colours around a little bit. So I hope that you've enjoyed this card. If you have, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to leave me a comment. All the measurements and supplies can be found over on my blog, so go and check that out. And if you need any Stampin' Up supplies, my online store is open all the time. I would love to be able to be your demonstrator as well. At the moment, Stampin' Up has a really great offer for joining and becoming a demonstrator. So if you have an interest in that and you have any questions, please get in touch with me. I'd love to help you out with any of that. Okay, have a wonderful day and I'll see you soon. Bye.